Hi folks, welcome back to Fishing with Den. Well, as you can see, I'm back on the tidal river today, and the reason for that is that I'm going to fish with this great big feeder, but I'm still testing feeders. Now this is actually a variation on the big plastic feeders that I showed you a few weeks ago with the interchangeable lead weights on the back. Still got the lead weights, but this one, as you can see, is a wire cage feeder specifically designed for when you're fishing in reasonable currents or even quite heavy duty currents. But also what I've done, because I have been prototyping this for a short while, I've made the back wider and flatter so it sits on the bottom more like that. I've put 5 balls of, sorry, not 5 balls, 5 feederfuls of bait out at about sort of 18-20 metres. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to fish with great big baits. I'm going to say great big baits, I don't mean things like boilies. I'm talking about putting sort of 5 bits of corn on the hook, or the same sort of amount of punch bread. I've also got some of my durable pellet stuff which I can punch out, and I can make that into effectively as big or smaller boilie as I want. So anyway, I'm going to get this out there now, and hopefully within the next sort of half an hour or so I'll be able to come back and show you some results and hopefully catch some decent fish today. Having said that, it's probably a good idea to show you exactly what I'm doing before I start to catch fish, or hopefully start to catch a few fish. As I say, I've got those 5 bits of bait on. I've got the great big feeder on. It's going to make a bit of a spludunch as it goes in, but we've got, I don't know, 15, 18 feet of water. And just immediately, I am going to be clipping up like that. But then I'm taking the clip off. It's at 18 turns. And I'm going to come back so that, that's it. I've actually got a piece of braid tied onto the line. Now you may have seen in the previous videos I've used elastic. I think it's number 3 elastic, the high-vis stuff from MIDI. But I did find that on the smaller feeders that was kind of catching on the line as it came off the spool. So I'm using, I think it's 20-pound braid at the moment. I've got it on. Hopefully it won't create quite so much of a problem with the line pulling off the reel. But anyway, look, that's me pretty much in. Nothing too desperately difficult about this, is there? And as I say, hopefully in half an hour we'll catch a few fish. In the meantime, it's freezing cold again, so time for a cup of tea. I haven't actually caught any fish yet. We're only sort of 10-15 minutes in, but so far I'm pretty pleased with the way that feeder's holding up. I mean, I've only got 30 grams on it altogether, and there's no sign of it moving. Now, of course, the current hasn't got to its fullest extent yet, because, as you know, it's tidal here. But certainly so far, this looks to be pretty reasonable. The other thing you'll notice is that I'm freezing, because I'm sitting under trees. Good job it's not windy today, because there's lots of branches down behind me. But anyway, I've got my coat on, got my hat on, but strangely enough, I've had to put my sunglasses on as well because I'm getting glare from the sky over there. Can't win sometimes, can you? I have seen one fish jump round about where I'm fishing, but then again, if you've got sort of 12 to 18 feet of water, a fish on the surface probably isn't all that relevant, is it? Anyway, back to the waiting game. Hopefully in the next sort of 20 minutes or so, we might get a bite. Well, that was a bit of a bump, wasn't it? I think that was a liner. And that's still only 20 minutes in, so there's obviously 1 or even 2 turning up at the moment. Got to bear in mind that it's really cold. We're right in the middle of winter at the moment here. I say in the middle, at the start of winter. But it's still flipping cold. Little nods, just little sort of. I'm not going to strike until I feel I've got a positive bite, because I don't want to spook them all right at the outset. Is it? I think it might be. It is. It's a bite. And I'd say that was a carp. Just adjust the clutch a little bit. Very slow and sluggish one. Open your big mouth again, Dan. Oh, dearie me. first bite. We're probably 3/4 an hour in, and this, I think, could be quite a reasonable fish. I'm not making any headway on him, am I? There are some snags down there, I don't know if you can see them. Just branches and trees in the water, and it's heading down that way, so I'm going to tighten the clutch right down. And, oh, come on fish, get out of there. Oh. Nearly hit me rod wrist, didn't I? Okay, so he's down towards my left now. He's not all the way down there, so that's quite good. But he's got some pull on him, hasn't he? Oh! Right, now slacken the clutch out a little bit, just in case we get lunges. Yeah. Not like summer when it's explosive, but this guy's got plenty of pull in him. Oof. Just saw the boil on the surface, I don't know if you can see it just down there. Can't shift him off the bottom. I say bottom from down anyway. Right. He's not done yet, is he? Hey, first fish. Nice fish too. He is a nice fish, isn't he? I mean, he's not a 20 pounder by any means, but huge, great big gob on him. See if we can just put this hook somewhere safe, because there's all sorts of snags down there. Oops, obviously not done, but I'm not going to take him out. But look at the mouth on that thing. If you can see it. I'm actually going to weigh it just out of curiosity. I'm thinking, I don't know, possibly, what, 8-9 pounds? Maybe. Been known to be wrong before, of course. Right, net weighs £1.04. 0 and £9.15, so that's £8.12, near enough a £9 fish. That's a nice fish. Right, we're off. Fair old splash there, isn't it? Fishing with the bow and the line. That's going to help with keeping the feeder in position. And away we go again. GoPros. Well, unfortunately, the braid trick didn't work to mark on the line, as opposed to the elastic. It's actually, as you can see from the feeder there, it's moved right the way down. It was worth a try. You'll never know if you don't try, will you? So, I think we're probably going to have to go back to the elastic trick. Well, that was prior preparation and planning, preventing a certain amount of poor performance. Not. I've forgotten to bring the elastic. So, we're back to being clipped up, and we're just going to have to hope that I can get the clip off in time. Still, learn something new every day, don't you? GoPro, start recording. Wow, literally, I just put that in and it went round immediately because I just put some bits of bread on the hook. It was 5 discs of the biggest feeder I've got. Sorry, biggest punch I've got. Feeder? Where did I get that idea from? And literally, I'd had nothing for ages. Put that in and it went straight around. So as soon as we get this in and we start to bait up again, I'll show you what I did. Oh, it's not as big as the last one, I'm pretty sure of that. But not bad at all. Just take the clutch down a little bit. Had it tightened down for that one that went down there. Okay. We're away from those snags down there, so that's quite good. But he is coming right down in the edge underneath me. So there may well be sticky out branches down there. He's actually right underneath the bank down to my left. Oh, come on fish. He's picked up a snag. Oh, we're okay. Oh, he's a decent enough fish though. It's caught on my feeder by the look of it. Well, he gave up, didn't he, so far? You watch, I'll put this anywhere near him and he'll disappear. Oh no, must be because it's winter. Oof. Right, okay. Oh, actually, he's got a good fish. Might as well weigh him as well, just to see. Alright, see if we can get this thing in the hook keeper this time. Right, net £1.4 as I said, and that is £10 dead, so he's close to £9 again. Well, really thick chunky fish that time. Don't know if you can see him, but see if we can get him out a little bit for you. There we are, look, great big chunky thing with a great big gob. Well, at least we've got 2 fish anyway. Okay, so that's the biggest of the punches. I think it's something like 10mm, 12mm. As you can see, I took 5 out of it. I'm going to do the same again this time. One, oops. Right, so there's my 5. Just put that down a second. Then what I'm going to do, because they will swell up and they can get buoyant, I'm just going to squeeze them down a bit. Again, once they're in the water, they will swell up, but by squeezing that air out of them, that should make them reasonably sinking. You don't want to go too mad and make it into a dough or a paste, but you do want to get some of the air out, otherwise you end up with floating bait. Bit of feed, get some ground bait in the top, fill the thing up with the bait, a bit more ground bait for a plug, and we're ready to go. Now, of course, that could just have been a fluke. Oops, what have we done here then? Okay, that could have just been a fluke, but you never know. Literally, it was in for seconds. Yeah, that's okay. Tide's going out, so it is getting shallower, so it's probably only 15 feet deep now. As I said before, it's probably 18 feet when you got full tide, high tide. I'll fish the bow again. And all that means is that you hold the rod down there and then allow some slack to form. It creates a bow, and that actually means that you don't get pulled out of position so easily with your feeder. Okay, last time it was in to about there. And again, look, that was a liner, but I wasn't getting any kind of indications prior to that at all. See what I mean? Oh, I couldn't been holding them this time, but that was a bit explosive, wasn't it? I thought it was going to go off on a tear there, but it didn't. As I say, I'd have to get the line off the clip pretty quickly if it was going to do that. But not amazingly, nothing for all that time. Put some bread on and wallop around it goes twice. I mean, I suppose when you're getting £9 fish, 5 discs of bread, 12mm discs, and nothing for a mouth their size. Just got to keep it away from those snags. They come right in down the edge all the time. Come on. Really hooking them and hauling them today. I think we're out of the way of those snags anyway. At least the reel's going well today. After the match the other week where it all but jammed up on me, squeaking like hell. I've taken it apart and cleaned it and oiled it, and today's the first time I've used it, and it does seem to be back to normal again. Ooh. I've got a feeling it's going to be about the same sort of size. Come on. Gives you arm ache, this. Got some fight in them, haven't they? Alright, he's just plodding away down in front of me now. He's going effectively upstream, or against the current anyway. Yeah. May well be a similar sort of sized fish. I find them quite deceiving here because you're quite a long way up. May not look it from the camera, but I'm probably 4 feet off the water here at the moment. Come on, fish. This feeder seems to be going well, like I said before, so I'm quite pleased with that. Oh no, this one isn't as big. Lots of sticks coming down still. That's 3. And actually, it probably is another 9-pounder actually, or 8-ish anyway. I'm not going to weigh him because he's the same sort of size as before, and they're like peas in a pod actually. Well, 3. Okay, same again then. 5 bits of bread. Yeah, that current's going quite well now. Okay, give it the bow and see if we get instant reaction again. I think that might be it. Yeah. Nice little nodding sort of a bite, wasn't it? Oh, that just came off. Yeah. Oh well. Not sure what happened there. Let's have a look. A bit twisted up, but whoops. Yeah, still got the hook, look. Oh. Well, the bites have stopped since I had those 2 fish and dropped that other one off, so I don't think it's the bait. I suspect all that's happened is I've kind of spooked them a little bit. As I said, it's freezing cold and they aren't necessarily all that hungry, and also the currents are getting quite strong now. Well, having said that, the wind has dropped. Look, absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I've punched out 2 pieces of the Den's durable pellets, and so it will effectively make that as a big bait. I'm going to try that on the hook next. And still got a little bit of bread on from previously. I'll show you that as well, actually. You can see that even then it's still quite a reasonable lump. It does come off pretty easily, like, but don't be concerned about bread coming off, because you may think you've come back without bread sometimes, but in actual fact it's been on all the way through except for when you reel in, so I don't worry about the possibility of the bread coming off. It's just a question of having confidence. Right, let's get that in. Fairly tough old bait, as I said. It's like Den's durable pellets, but oops, there we are. Look, that's what we've ended up with. Decent sized piece of bait. I can't guarantee this will get me a bite, obviously, because if the fish aren't there, they aren't there. But just ring in the changes today, as I said right at the start, with some big baits, just to see. And certainly so far, with the 3 fish being around about the £9 range, happy enough with what I'm finding. Of course, could have caught the same fish on 2 pieces of sweet corn as well, but we'll never know that. Couldn't possibly go straight round, could it? Oh, something's plucking at it. Well, at least there's one fish down there. I think that might be it. Yeah. Well, again, try a different bait and it goes round. Wasn't a particularly great bite though, was it? Just nodding away there. Don't think he knew he'd got a hook in him. I suspect it may well be the same sort of size. Oh, don't go down there, fish. Coming into the edge again, right down by those snags. Come on, get out of there. Come on. You see him swirling. The snags are just down to the left. He's gone down low and he's... Come on, get out of there. Pulled out. He's actually had the hook. I suspect he's got into that stuff down there, and it's what's cracked it off. Look, yeah. Oh well, at least we're getting bites, not necessarily getting the fish in. He's managed to tangle this round a bit, so back in a minute. Let me get this sorted out. Okay, got the new hook on. Got the same bait on again, and off we go. Oops, did that go off there? Oh no, we're okay. Oh yes. Well, that's a... Oof, I think he came towards me, that's what happened there. And then decided he didn't want to after that. Now he's gone solid. That's it, he's moving. I think he's on something on the bottom down there. Oh, giving this one some stick. At least he's upstream of that snagger this time. Ah, pulled out again. Wow. Not my day today. If I had some bigger hooks, like size 10s with these great big long hairs on, I think I'd probably use it today, but I haven't, so I'm just going to go with what I've got. But it's all about the learning curve, isn't it, guys? I'll tie some of those up for another day. Going to use the same bait because it's still on. Everything's still looking good. I told you they were durable. So what's that? Got 3, lost 3. that's not the best result then. Still, practice day. Make your mistakes now, and then hopefully in a match you'll be catching loads. Well, that's the plan anyway. And of course the other thing is, you just got to go out and enjoy yourself, haven't you? Lovely things there. I think we're going to hit it. Well, I'm not quite sure what that was all about. It was like a little roach bite. Not that there's any roach in here. Where's this guy off to? At least he's not coming right in down the edge this time. Or he is now, rather. Come on. Up you come. Not really fighting, he's just using the current against me. Just kind of hugging the bottom. Right underneath me. Come on. Oh, I don't think he's as big as the other ones. But he's fitter. River's getting quite low now. I say quite low. It's still 14 feet deep out in the middle, but low from the bank. Oh, do you know what? I think it's probably a good £8, this one again. Literally, just put it in. I think it's a small fish from the way it's reacting, or relatively anyway. You can feel it when it sort of does acrobatics under the water. Well, certainly the fish on the bigger hook, the size 8, seem to have been smaller fish. Now, quite what bearing that has on things, I'm not sure. Maybe I just can't get enough bait on the hook. Maybe it's just the way it is, it's just what's down there. But it does seem that when I was fishing with the hair, I was getting bigger fish. Those first 3 were in the £9 range. Okay. What's that, 6? Yeah, it's actually a very broad fish, so it probably is about £3, but it's a fairly short fish. Okay, well, wasn't a big fish, but that's 6. Well, as I just said, that's 6 fish, and I lost, I think it's 3, is it? Not doing too badly considering it's really cold, and I did actually start about just gone 11 o'clock because I wanted the temperature to warm up just a little bit before I got here. So I think these shorter sort of late morning into afternoon sessions are probably the best at the moment. Bites though can be really strange, those little sort of flicks on the tip, not real pull rounds. Obviously some have been pull rounds, but that one there was just hardly anything. I do find that even in summer here. Well, I don't know if that's a dibbly little bite. Oh, hang on, yeah, that's a bite. Oh, I think we've got another smallish one. Maybe the afternoons when the small ones come on. Well, he's just swum down underneath me here. Still, all good fun, eh? Half inclined to put a hair rig back on, but probably only got another half an hour, maybe an hour to go, so I think we'll persevere with this for today. It's more about this feeder anyway, and so far, from what I can see of this feeder, it's doing the job. I've still got the same 30 gram weight on it all the way through, whereas there's some other feeders I've had to put more on. So, fairly happy. Oh, he's actually probably more like 3.5, this one. Is that a 7? Can't remember. I lose track too easily these days, don't I? Well, that was fairly typical, wasn't it? I said I'd give it another half an hour to an hour, and the bites immediately stopped. So we'll do the tea trick instead. I can find me milk anyway. Oh, lovely day now. Just starting to get a little bit of the afternoon sun on me. Nice if I caught a couple of fish to go with it, wouldn't it? Still, not been a bad day all in all, has it? Well, that didn't turn into anything, did it? But I think I'm just going to have my cup of tea, enjoy the next few minutes, and then start packing up and go home. It's about 3:15 now, so I've been fishing for 4 hours, and as I've said in the past, in the winter that's perfectly adequate for me. I've certainly enjoyed it. I've learned a few things. Sorry if I'm flicking between you and the tip, because you never know, do you? The first one is that my feeder's working quite well. Got a couple of tweaks I want to mess about with before I go to a full 3D print, so that for those of you that are into that sort of thing, the STL will probably become available in the future, but just not quite yet on that, because I'm not completely convinced it's right. The second one is using braid as a line marker. Doesn't work, so I'm going to go back to the elastic. And I think the other one is, if I'm going to use a big long hair rig to take sort of 5 pieces of corn, or as you saw, 5 pieces of bread, etc., I think I'm going to go to a 12 or a 10 hook with that, because I've got a feeling that the fish were pulling through under extreme pressure down here. I think I lost one on the snag, and I've lost another couple by just literally pulling through. So yeah, quite an enjoyable day. You always learn something, and we really can't ask for much more than that. So on that note, I'll bid you goodbye until the next time, of course.